In today's Clash Royale video, we are talking a bit about the newest balance change released tomorrow in Clash Royale, and also about some feedback you guys gave to me, and also some feedback on Twitter, because I saw some people absolutely mad at Supercell. Today, I'm gonna talk about my opinion. Is that right? Is it correct? And what went wrong with the last balance change? If you guys want to see that more often, and also know my opinion, also let me know your opinion once again in the comment section below. You guys agree with me? You guys agree with the people I'm gonna mention? I would really appreciate it. Also, make sure to use Creator Good Mod in the shop already. New season is gonna start, or new season just started, so if you guys think about buying the battle pass, make sure to use my creator code. I would say let's jump into that, and let's talk about what went wrong with the last balance changes. So I think I mentioned already, balance change will be released tomorrow. I think like tomorrow early in European time, and there were like a ton of things which were like kind of controversial. The first one, or like the first thing, was kind of the whip balance change, or like the balance change which I kind of like released first up with the tornado change, which they gave to us. And people, like, there were some people saying like absolutely great, they absolutely hate tornado, but there are also some people, I mean, as always, right, we're saying like tornado is absolutely mandatory against Hawk Rider, because I mean, like, this is really like the game that there's so many cards, people hate some cards, people love some cards, it's completely open, but they really reduced the tornado, or like they actually changed the tornado change. I think I already mentioned in my balance change video, that was like I was like already thinking they will delete that and won't bring it into the game, because the thing is, what kind of happened there, but was also kind of complained from some of the pros, especially the graveyard players, of course, is that you were able to activate King Tower really easily with that, because the tower, or like the tornado, actually, like in this kind of change, if they would have brought it out to the game, it would have been able, to one-shot the skeletons, two shots against the skeletons. So basically, your opponent plays a graveyard, you're gonna go for tornado to activate King Tower, because right now it's almost impossible. But afterwards, it's impossible. So this is also kind of the reason why some people have the unleveled tornado, because unleveled tornado is so good against the graveyard, because it takes 2 shots to kill the skeletons. You're able to activate the King Tower really easily. So this is kind of what the thing, what like the community was kind of mad about it. They didn't bring it into the game, especially considering graveyard is such a defensive deck. And I want to know you guys' opinion. I'm also a bit, I wouldn't say like mad. I'm not really mad at all, but just kind of, I just feel like graveyard needs honestly a rework itself. And I personally would have liked to see that in the game. I don't know, like, I don't really think tornado, because it's like, it seemed like a nerf, and it would have been a nerf in some situation against like skeleton army and so on, because the tornado would have needed 2 hits. But just in generally speaking, I just think graveyard right now is a bit overwhelming. It's way too strong. Also on defense, it's just a really frustrating to play against. Like the Ice Wizard, Tornado, Baby Dragon, Skeleton King, example, is just so good. And yeah, so also, like, if you guys don't know, Jules is one of my analysts, or one of my coaches, and he's like really smart in the game. He's like, being there so long, he's always like trying to give feedback and kind of give a really great reasoning. So he's posting also that, what I kind of want to brought up. I love that they include reasoning, but the one mark makes no sense. So this is kind of what they posted in game. So kind of when I bring out you the information, they're not going to give reasoning yet for us, which was, yeah, we're gonna argue for ourselves why Supercell is doing that. But afterwards, they bring this to the balance change, also going to release an in-game post. They always bring the reasoning for that. So what they're saying is the Monk, the current thinking is to keep its ability cost 1 elixir. We understand that for competitive players, many of you, it would be not a problem to play with a 2 elixir ability, but from a more broad perspective, having an expensive ability that doesn't grant the most straightforward value is quite negative. This is unlike Skeleton King, who spawns skeletons, which is a clear value even when played in a non-idle situation. Having an expensive ability that's easy to misplay may put off less competitive players from using Monk in the long run and establishing as a high skill card only. While we don't mind having some cards with high skill styling and others, our goal is to make most cards as broadly used as possible. So what he's saying, Skeleton's King ability can be easily used if a Log, Valk, or Poison come down. Queen of Monk's ability is granted value, since 1 goes invincible plus rage and 1 goes invincible plus reflects. Both should be 2 elixirs. So the thing is, with my opinion on this, the Monk itself, like when you place on an opponent half, or like on opponent half, and you're using the 2 elixir ability from the Monk, it's just so good itself. Because yes, sometimes like against Musketeer and so on, it was value, but also like just the tower chip itself. So I don't really think, like, I don't really agree with this kind of, like, I think the Monk wouldn't have been a high skill card, because yeah, for sure you can do like crazy plays, but I mean, what he says, right, like also the Skeleton King ability can be always used, and you can kind of overcommit, right? Like if your opponent plays a Valk down, you're going to use it, it doesn't make sense. If you play the Monk defensive and use the ability for 2 elixir, it wouldn't make sense, but just itself in offense, just the timing and also the card cycle is in this type of abilities really important. Also with the queen, right? You need to know when you're using the ability, because if the opponent is like, I don't know, it's like gonna fireball the queen, it doesn't sometimes make sense to use the ability. We're just gonna lightning, it doesn't make sense to use the ability. You kind of want to wait as long as you can to get the maximum value out of the queen. So this is kind of point which Julesy make, and I kind of agree on that. I don't really think the monk itself, I think this is kind of not the reasoning. I don't know, I would love to see that, like the 4 elixir change to the monk and the 2 elixir ability. This would be my dream thing, because right now, like they kind of changed the monk and put a ton of pro players. I don't know if you like agree with that. They're saying the monk will be really great, and I just personally don't. I don't dislike the monk itself. I just think the monk is a really interesting concept itself, but I just think the ability is way too broken for just 1 elixir getting the amazing chip there. It's hard to defend like the goblins plus monk push, at example, or like a ton of different like monk with like another 2 as well. So this is kind of what I think I don't really like. And also, yeah, just like bring up another point, which I'm going to bring up now from one of the greatest players right now, Riley. So also we have for sure Julesy in this kind of tweet, and this is an interesting one because people were also saying that in a ton of or like a ton of different things. Also Julesy was mentioning that he doesn't agree. He agrees with the rocket nerf, but he also thinks other spells need a nerf itself. I think Fireball got a damage nerf, or got like a genuinely like also a nerf itself. I don't know what was the nerf. I think it was like a smaller radius. And I mean, the log is also one of the most controversial things. People saying like most pro players say log needs a nerf. Most casual players say, I just like log. It's a cool card. I think it just should be as it is. I mean, this is kind of like a thing you can always talk about like for 1 hour. I mean, arguing for like a nerf and a buff, or I mean like a nerf and how it should stay like that. But what Riley's bringing up here, yeah, nerf rocket, I mean, it's a kind of like ironic post, right? So I agree with the rocket nerf, but I also can see the point here, like nerfing minor poison itself. Because Jules saying here been saying to nerf minor poison too, because if you think about it, rocket does a ton of damage, but if you like kind of take the 100 rocket damage, I think it's like 99 rocket damage away from Tuesday on, minor poison will absolutely be amazing in this meta. It gets like so much value, and especially with the free card cycle. The free card cycle is what makes this kind of cards broken. I think this is what still people don't really get. If we talk about the rocket, just rocket itself in most of the decks, where's rocket gonna be played? Let me know. So it's gonna be Lockbait, Mighty Miner. It's a ton of Expo decks. These are like kind of the only decks which this rocket is gonna be played in. And it's most of the time rocket with the Archer Queen itself, or rocket with the Mighty Miner, as you guys can see here. So this is kind of what really relies the rocket on. It's not really broken itself on a 4-card cycle deck, like a normal deck without champion. Even it's kind of can be annoying, but I feel like rocket just got like so broken at the point when the 3-card cycle was going. You're gonna play the Mighty Miner, you're gonna play a log, you have like a 5 elixir cycle with the goblins, the ice spirit, then the log, and then you have like rockets, and you can cycle like in 10 seconds 2 rockets, as I feel like in triple elixir. But it's kind of the similar same with minor poison, rather than like having like the 6 elixir rocket, which does like the same amount of damage. For sure minor can be called off, but just like having 7 elixir minor poison also in just a cheap cycle, like the same cheap cycle deck as this Lockbait deck, right? We have the 2 elixir goblins, we have the 2 elixir log with the 1 elixir ice spirit, and we also have the Archer Queen as a champion to kind of get the 3-card cycle going, and then you're just able to 24/7 spam the minor poison, spam the minor poisons, and it just can be really frustrating to play, because just the champions itself, they're making it broken. So this is kind of main questions I want to ask you guys. What is the main way to make this game more balanced in this type of way? Because yes, you could nerf all the spells, all the spell damage itself, but is it going to really fix the problems, or are we just going to run away from the main problem, which is going to be champions, right? Yes, I think champions, I mean, I'm honestly not sure. Like, I wouldn't really say, is the game better since champions? Because a ton of people are arguing the game is worse since they released champions. And I still think they still, Supercell, like, I don't really know the 1%, but I still think they're trying to find a great way to make them like make them better. I mean, also it's the same which I talked about yesterday with the Path of Legends. They try to fix it a bit, but I just think that they still need to make some changes to the champs, like the 3-card cycle. I know, like, kind of block it out, like as they do with the or grayed out, I think, with the like mirror. You cannot mirror after you play the champion. So back then it was like you play pump, you're gonna play golden to defend, and play you can mirror the pump again. But I just think they kind of need to do it also with the champions, because just like the 3-card cycle, right? You're playing decks where you just sometimes feel the champion isn't really doesn't really make too much sense. You could also use a musketeer, you could also use like a Valkyries of the Skull King instead of the Mighty Miner, which would normally make more sense. But just like the free card cycle itself makes a champion better than every single other card in the game. What do you guys think about it? Am I right? Am I wrong? What do you guys think about my feedback itself? Because I just want to bring it up because I just feel like this is kind of the main concern of the community. Kind of bring out the pro perspective. I mean, you guys have like a different perspective because most of you guys aren't pros. Let me know in the comment section. I would say I'm out. Thanks for watching and goodbye, guys.